All right, I call to order the Town of Denmark, February 10th, 2026 Select Board meeting. Should we all rise for pledge allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This being a joint meeting with the Budget Committee and being the first meeting, I will open the Budget Committee meeting for February 10th, 2026 at 6:01 p.m. And I will ask for nominations or a volunteer for your chair.
Nominate Luke.
Second.
Chairman.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And you accept?
I accept, that's fine, yep.
I will hand the meeting over to you.
Thank you. All right, welcome everybody, back for the year. I appreciate everyone's willingness to serve on this board again. I think what we should do is we'll just take the budgetary notes, the 2027 budgetary notes. I don't know if everybody's had a chance to look through. Michael, you haven't yet, so I think we walk down through those. Betty, I'll ask you for some high-level highlights.
Yeah, I was going to say, I have some highlights if you want.
Yeah, I guess let's go down through that first. I've got a couple questions just through the notes, but why don't you go ahead because you might tackle them.
Before we start that,
Sure.
just on this budget calendar, if this is going to be an issue, I'm happy to let someone else, but I won't be here the week of the 21st, that final meeting again. I missed it last year with the vote too, so if that's going to be an issue, I'm happy to let someone else.
I'm hoping we might be done
place.
prior to that.
God, I hope so. Just wanna make people
Yeah,
aware
no,
that's
I-
an issue.
Just every Tuesday forever?
No, I appreciate that, Sean. I would, without lots of other people itching to get in this, and I believe you bring a big benefit to this group, so I'd rather have you stay on board, and
I'll see my
hopefully
way
we
out
can,
of it.
hopefully we can.
Well, you try every year, don't you?
Hopefully we can get this done before, hopefully we can get this done before you leave.
Maybe you should take the whole month off, didn't you?
Don't tempt me.
All right, Betty, yeah, if you go ahead and.
So just some highlights. The overall budget increase with this first request being put in with what department heads are asking for and such is a 7.6% increase. This does not account for anything for our salt and sand building. So the salt and sand building, we are looking at options. We are currently exploring a steel frame canvas building. We have one estimate so far. We're looking at two other estimates. We're just in the process of getting those. The estimates that we have was $457,000 with a block foundation installed by the company. If we want to do just the building only, it's $305,500, and then we would put it on, a foundation, a concrete foundation.
301,000, sorry?
305.
Thank you.
So as Luke mentioned earlier, with this year's budget, I did put in budget notes. Honestly, these are things throughout the year that I have just been jotting down, so hopefully you can follow through my train of thought. But just some highlights from that. Electricity, we're going to see an increase across all departments. I based this on taking 2025 actual kilowatt usage, multiplied it by today's standard offered rate, which is what the town is now currently at, and then added a cushion of 10% because come January of 2027, the rate will increase again. Insurance, we had a 9% increase this year, so I have projected a 10% increase in health and an 8% increase in dental. And on auto liability and just general insurance, a 12% increase. Proposed wage increases that is in this current first draft is at 3.5%, which is the same as last year. I did put in the option of the 2.8% for COLA. Building and repair, you'll see an increase of $1,500. That's just, a few extra items like one-offs that need to be done. You'll see those in the notes. Legal, I did decrease by $5,000. We haven't reached our budget figure in quite some time, so I didn't think a decrease would hurt us this year. Admin department, you'll see an increase in technologies and office supplies, and then minimal increases on other line items. Fire department, an increase in equipment. Again, those are like one-time purchases that are needed. An increase in maintenance. There's 2 trucks that needs tires, 1 truck that needs a pump control. I added a consultation fee in their line. We have been using a consultant for the last 2 years, but we've just taken it out of the salary line. So this year I just broke that out. The fire chief pay is a decrease. And then other items to consider, that we are looking for alternate funds and outside funds is air packs and forestry gear. Public Works, you'll see an increase in uniforms, but it's not as much as what we've actually spent in the last 2 years. And you'll see that breakdown in the notes itself. And then a small increase in highway and miscellaneous. Transfer station, you'll see an increase in maintenance and parts and an increase in solid waste and recycling. We actually just had a meeting with Maine, and they've given us what the new rates are going to be. Our contract expires or renews in September, so he's drafting up a draft contract or proposal now. They are offering, if the town wants to renew early, they hold the rates that we're currently at until September, and then they're offering a no CIP increase until June of 2027. So we wouldn't get that increase prior to that.
How long of a contract is that?
They're usually 3 years.
So in essence, the first year they'd hold.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, right, yeah.
And then just a couple of notes on the current fiscal year revenue. You'll see, actually, yes, interest earned from July to January is $52,167. We changed banks this year. So that's an average. Actually, you might not
What page is that?
see that. Did I? You know what?
It didn't show up in the 4-year revenue for other revenues.
Yeah.
So where does it come in that, on that page 11? Does it fall in there somewhere? I would have thought it would have been a separate line item as other revenue.
I didn't include it in there until I was looking at it, re-looking at it today. Next meeting, I'll include an expense and a revenue report. It's like well, not everyone. So earlier I said that our copier is overheating, so we're not printing very much at this time. So that averages about $7,400 a month. So that's a much larger increase for us in a revenue stream this year. Also, just to note, we did receive FEMA funds from the May 23 storm. When we reseeded that, the board voted to put $50,000 into the capital building fund, and then the $159,761 into just the general fund. So that's going to roll over into our unassigned at the end of this fiscal year.
159.
761.
Thank you.
Fund balances, I will provide at the next meeting. Our fiscal year audit is not completed. I had a meeting today with the auditor. She just had a question on my fund balance compared to her fund, one of her fund balances on the road improvements. But during our conversation, she did say that the fund balances that I had provided her seem to be what they're coming out with their first draft of the audit also. So there might be some minor adjustments. So I should know a definite draft, first draft of the audit within the next 3 weeks. You will see that I have included an estimated rolling unassigned balance. I am doing my disclaimer once again that this is not a solid number. This is just, like it says, it's a rolling balance that I started. So if you look at that, which is on page,
38? Nope, sorry. Yeah, 38. Rolling unassigned balance on the worksheet. 38. 38.
It's the same number Drake makes sacks.
Correct, easy number.
so again, this is just an estimated rolling fund balance, unassigned fund balance. It's not the final number. Just, you know, I know we take money almost every year out of unassigned. And just more to explain probably for the general public, when we use unassigned fund balances to offset the budget that we're speaking of, we are actually planning to use prior year surpluses. So, you know, we're kind of banking on that we're going to be, you know, running in a positive, which obviously we typically always do. We should never be running in a negative. So just to keep that in mind, so when we're going through this, based on what I've provided you, the only audited figure is the fiscal year 24 unassigned fund balance that was in the fiscal year 24 audit at $1,651,759.
Yep.
We took 505 in, was appropriated in fiscal year 25. We used, so that left an estimated unassigned entering this fiscal year 26 of 1,137,000. And again, this is unaudited. In fiscal year 26, we used 660,000 of unassigned, and so technically that brings us down to 477,389 in our unassigned until we see what we have done in fiscal year 26 for, you know, overages and revenues. So that's a quick breakdown of the unassigned and actually where I will stop.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Going back to the outline and the notes, does anybody have any specific questions on any specific lines? I know Betty kind of gave us the higher level, but are there any particular questions that anyone has initially, I guess?
What do we use ChatGPT for?
That's what I was gonna ask.
So actually, right now, I'm using it a lot for reviewing and rewriting our land use ordinance, like first drafts that I'm presenting to the committee, that I am presenting to legal for them then to review and comment on and mark up. So it's a good outlet. I went to, they had at the manager convention this year, they did a whole section on ChatGPT. So it's used a lot for like comparison. I can put in our zoning ordinance. I can put in like Bridgeton zoning ordinance, and I'm using the ordinance because that's what I'm using it the most for right now. And it will, you know, it will compare like our ordinance to others. It will compare our ordinance to state law, state statutes, tell us where, you know, we might be lacking, making suggestions on where we should look, you know, at new proposed wording. I've used it, again, for policy writing, so it's,
Thank you.
Is that a two-person, is it 600 just for you?
no.
I thought that's two.
Yeah, it's two. So it's me and Lindsay. Lindsay is just getting into using it more. Like, she didn't quite understand the whole, what you can benefit out of it. If she's not going to utilize it, I'll obviously drop that down to
Okay,
one.
okay.
But
Yeah, it's not cheap.
The capital items, are those, so these, so I know you said the increase overall does not have the salt sands shed in it. Does it
Right.
carry the request for the capital fund of $150,000 and the wheeled excavator for $290,000?
it actually
It does. Yeah, it's
does,
in there.
yes,
That's the 350, right?
right.
Well, 150 plus
actually,
290 is
no,
not
it's-
350 though, it's 440. 150 plus 290 is 440,
Yeah.
not 350.
She's got 350 in there, that's all.
Yeah, right, no, I'm with you.
Yeah.
That's why I'm asking the question.
Yep.
It's 30,000 in the capital building and 350,000 for an excavator, a wheeled excavator, and anything left over would just go into the capital equipment for public works.
Okay, just because I'm curious, what size wheeled excavator?
About a 23,000-pound machine.
Okay. And to, is this to what would this replace the backhoe in the future? The backhoe in the future, is this, or is this in supplement to?
Bought the back.
It would replace the backhoe, and then we would add a loader, a wheeled loader.
Okay. And when is the backhoe, last one we bought, when is that one up for replacement?
That would go to the transfer station.
There's the
Yeah, but-
equipment.
Right, when did we
Bought it
buy
2
it?
years ago.
Right.
Yeah, it wasn't.
2 years ago? 3, 2?
Right. And how what's the life cycle on those been?
It's on that list, isn't it? 10, 15?
Yeah, so the
20?
2016,
No,
That's the John.
that's the,
that's the John Deere, cat backhoe should be in 2043. We got it in 2023, and it's a 20-year life expectancy.
Okay.
Through both departments.
Yeah, right, from the transfer and yeah, understood. I mean, so we bought one in 23, when did we buy the one before that?
2016.
Okay, so 7 years, 7, 8 years, okay.
But we still have the 2016 at the transfer station.
Right, but maybe I'm misunderstanding, but I think what we've done, when we bought the 2016, right, the one that Public Works had,
Yeah.
went to the transfer station. We bought 23, the 2016
Right.
went to the transfer station. So that 16-year, 7-year, 8-year life cycle is about,
So the
Right.
next, yeah,
if we bought one in 30, I mean, no, the life expectancy of that one is for 43.
correct. The next,
Call it 30 or 31.
yeah.
Right, you'd buy one and switch. So, I guess my question would be, is that if we bought a wheeled excavator and the backhoe went to the transfer station for as long as it survives for, what happens when that one craps? Are we buying a brand new backhoe for the transfer station?
No, look into a used one for down there.
Okay. Those are just considerations to make, I guess.
How much does it cost to rent an excavator for the summer when you need it?
Summer,
Yeah,
Seasonal rentals.
generally it's about, a wheeled excavator is about $9,000 a month.
so how many months out of the year do you use it?
We'll rent one twice a year. Generally, we'll try and get one in the spring.
So
and then one in
if
the
you
fall.
rent one twice a year, that's 18,000 versus 350,000. If we buy another piece of equipment for 350,000, that's
Well,
another
the
piece of
excavator's
equipment.
not 350,000.
Well, that's what we're asking about. Okay, even if it's 250.
It's
19,000, my train of thought is, we're gonna get another piece of equipment, so that's one more piece of equipment that we have to maintain. And then you wanna get rid of the backhoe and get a loader, which I could see maybe the loader packed to load the bigger trucks. But we're getting away from being a small town here. We gotta have more pieces of equipment than the city of Portland. I mean, just because Baldwin has got a wheel excavator, they can put all kinds of accessories on it, and I know that's what's gonna happen with you guys. You're gonna get that, and you want a brush head. We bought a brush head for a backhoe, I don't know how many years ago, and it was used maybe, 3 years? And this is a junk pile.
Lasted 10 years.
10 years?
10 years, Russell.
Well, there we go, 10 years. So now we're gonna have to buy another one. So what did we do with the other one? Did we keep the maintenance on it? No, because it didn't fit the backhoe that we bought. I'm just saying,
It wore out.
if we run an excavator for 2 months out of the year, I think that's better than having an excavator set there for 10 months out of the year. Am I right? I mean, why would you want a piece of equipment you're looking at for 10 months?
I assume the maintenance will be on
The maintenance, you're gonna have,
Lease it from-
that's 8 more tires you're gonna maintain. And oil filters, I mean, I just think it's a waste of money from my point of view. I think rent one's the best way to do it.
So is there a particular reason that Public Works would like to go away from the backhoe loader and to the wheeled excavator?
Ergonomics is the big reason. Excavator's more versatile. If we get the excavator, we can use it at our convenience and not when we have to or forced to. Because that, renting it by the month, you have that certain time frame you have to use it in.
Well, I've seen them, when you've rented them and they sit there for a week at a time.
That's because we have other projects that we have to.
Well, there you
Crop
go.
up.
So why don't you set your projects prior to that? When you rent a piece of
Always set your
equipment,
projects.
when you rent a piece of equipment for a month, am I wrong, Luke, when you say, when you guys are on a project, you rent a piece of equipment, do you go to another job?
Well, ideally, you want to be able to use the piece of equipment you've rented for the job you rented it for.
Right.
Now, does that always happen? No, but that's ideally what you're looking to
But
do.
you gotta plan a little bit different, I'd say.
Oh, yeah, well, I think
I mean,
ideally,
we gotta, I'm looking at this whole budget as a plan, and we keep spending more money. We're looking at, we're gonna spend $500,000 on a salt shed, right?
No, probably double. That
Oh, okay, double.
doesn't
So then we wanna
include,
add a wheel
doesn't
excavator.
include the grading
add a
and
loader.
the concrete for the floor,
Right.
right? Right,
Well,
Betty?
I
I'm just
had
throwing it, I say
600
double, but
Oh, I don't doubt it.
No.
it's gonna be, a couple $100,000 if
I
you
had
have to.
600,000 in my mind
Foot on that one.
And that's just the floor?
for the building and the foundation dirt work.
And I've been down.
So the proposal that we have here for 457,
Mm-hmm.
450, that's not the entire thing, that's just part of it?
well, it's
that-
the walls and the canvas.
Okay.
And the
Just-
frame.
So it's
not- It
canvas?
just said including budget material. I don't know what that, oh, including in budget material.
Bob, if you had a thought, would a canvas one or a steel one be better for you?
They'll both be about the same price.
Which one do you think would last longer?
Well, that's a tough one. I'd have to do some more
Is the
research
canvas
on the
that,
steel one.
is the canvas that much tougher now than steel? I mean,
They're-
with the salt,
Don't
Russell,
rush.
the canvas, you drive around and there's canvas buildings all over the
Oh, I know
place
there is,
now.
but I
It's
just-
like- It's just like the
They're-
sports complex
right.
that you got.
So that's,
It's a
they're that
25-year, it's a 25-year lifespan.
What about the steel? Is that about the same?
Yeah, the steel's longer.
Galvanized.
It's galvanized.
Ralph's has one.
Yeah, the steel frame I'm talking. We haven't priced out a steel building.
Yeah, I know, yeah, steel frame and the
Yeah.
canvas over here.
Is it a 25-year warranty, or is it just the life expectancy of the canvas?
Let me see how they word it.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Retractable dome.
Yeah, I mean, just curious if it's a warranty issue, or is it just what we think it's gonna last? Worth knowing, I guess.
Again, I had planned on printing these, but
So I'm assuming we scrapped the whole garage thing.
Well, it's not gonna happen this year.
Well, I haven't heard anything.
No, I know.
Well, we put money into it last year. I think unfortunately, something like this comes up, and there's not much you can do about it, right? So I think there is allocated money here to go into that fund again.
Unless you put it all into one big plan, and now you don't have to set that way you wanted this. It gives you a little more versatility.
Right, I don't disagree with that also. Yep, that's certainly one way
You
to.
have to think of my point is to think of the location of this salt shed. If
Yeah.
you're gonna do that in the future, that really can make a difference
Right.
down there.
Yeah.
so what the board, what I've been discussing with the board, and we have been working with Sebago Tech, is that when we do a site plan for the salt shed, we're gonna site plan the whole lot. So we do a proposed location for a garage. The building will have a 25-year warranty.
Cool. Okay. So.
As long as the company don't go out of business.
Right.
And you've got good lawyers.
I wouldn't care at the end of that.
I mean, that's
years later,
that's what you're gonna get for any building, right? Steel, canvas, don't matter what, as long as the place
Yeah,
stays in business, and
that
you.
stuff will, yeah.
I mean, it's-
All this needs amount, so.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think, but as far as the warranty and all the
But they're making
the
big
company staying in
enough to
business is the same.
think they
That
did
would
it
fight
one
for
time.
whatever you're gonna
That's
get.
not
I
gonna
mean,
store any vehicles in that, it's just strictly sand and salt.
It might store the.
well, yeah, that's definitely better than not. And what was the
Just-
154
we
for the?
didn't- We weren't like storing
What was 154 for the
equipment, you know.
vehicles?
Just
no
like
vehicles.
undercover type.
Is that the 150 for the capital equipment fund? Is that for
That's
another
just
truck in the future, or what is
Yeah,
that for?
Yeah, that's just keep adding.
That's keep adding to that
Just
to
the bank,
the
right?
truck fund.
Yeah.
Okay. What did we put in the last year for the?
I think it's 150 last
We
year.
put 150 in the last year.
Yes.
Yes.
And as that was so that we could buy a truck with cash instead of having to.
That was out of undesignated fund.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are those funds in interest-bearing accounts of some sort? I assume?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what she's gonna show us.
Yeah,
How
just-
much money do we make interest-wise?
That's what she
Roughly.
mentioned.
Yeah, she's-
That was the 52,000 that we've earned so far,
Okay.
like 7,400 a month.
Yeah, and to Betty and the crews, to their credit, they moved it from Key Bank to a different bank that actually paid interest.
And
So
you-
we went from
Like
getting
a lot,
basically
too.
nothing to getting 3% or whatever on,
Yeah, we
Quite a bit of
went
money
from
sits there.
paying every month
yeah, yeah.
for having our money in the bank
They did a real
to
nice job switching that over.
Yeah.
Which bank did you go to?
Money.
Northeast.
Northeast.
Where's the-
So I will clarify, and when I did my notes, that 150 and 290 was what we originally was looking at, but then on the actual page 9, the 350 I have in there under capital equipment, that's 150 for, into the truck fund or into
Yep.
an equipment fund, and 200 for the excavator, so.
Okay.
That 290 changed, sorry.
Okay. I'm just gonna make that 9 into a 0.
So it'll be 440,000, right?
350.
No, so it's once she took the 290 and made it 200. So she took
okay.
90,000 out of the wheel excavator request.
Oh, okay.
So so the 350 that's
So
on
you
the
took-
actual.
So we took it, taking $90,000 out of,
Nope, it's just gone away. Just consider it gone.
oh,
So what you're seeing on page 11 on the actual request, right? Page,
Right.
it's page 11.
Yeah.
Russ, if you go to
No, yeah, 9. Well,
9.
9 gives the overview of it.
yeah.
Right, so that line item, that's 350,000, the capital equipment fund on page 9, Russ,
Yeah.
towards the bottom. That piece of the note is now just 150 for the capital equipment fund and 200,000 for the new wheeled excavator.
It's gonna be about 200,000, yeah.
Yeah, that's the cost.
A new one or a used one?
New one,
A new one, really?
yeah. That's what Mo had.
But is it as big as a 20
You
ton
build
you're
it
talking about?
first.
No, it's a he was talking about 12 ton, basically, what you're looking at, 12 or 13 ton machine, right?
I
Right.
think.
So
It's
it's-
a mid-sized machine.
Bigger than the one that's parked at the substation right now, but smaller than the one you'd see on a road crew job, traveling around, like the Volvo 180, it's gonna be smaller.
Currently in the capital equipment fund, we have about 185,000 in that.
I don't have that currently in front of me.
Is that the truck fund, if you will?
Yeah, the equipment.
Right.
Equipment fund. That's where I was gonna get the majority of the money for the excavator was coming out of that.
And how are we doing on trucks?
So we just got,
2016 is the next one, the blue replacement would be next year.
Okay. So something to think about there too, as we.
Yep.
And then throw the building money in on top of that.
Right, and so, it looks like we're gonna have to pick something here, and something's gonna have to go away, and something's gonna have to stay. Not really our specific need, we just allocate money. We don't really necessarily have to decide how.
You don't pick one.
Well, I mean,
It's tough, though.
The 200,000 fee money that we got back, should
Yep.
have gone towards the new sand shed.
Is that?
Instead of putting it in the general fund.
Instead of putting that in the general fund, that should have gone towards the new sand shed.
well, still can.
Right.
Yeah, they went on anticipated, so it still
Right,
can.
it's just the unassigned fund.
And we
Still
actually
go-
took money from that to put the temporary salt shed arrangement up for now. So we did take some money from it for temporary, and then the rest of it can still be used for that.
That came out of my road fund. That did come out
The
of that FEMA
temporary-
money.
Well, we were reimbursed for the work that was done 2 years ago or whatever it was, right?
That came out of my operating budget this year.
What came out?
This
No, it didn't.
temporary shed.
Temporary salt shed.
Oh, no, I thought we spent,
The temporary salt shed?
I thought we put 50 or something down, thousand for that.
Well, we haven't put that much money into, the temporary salt shed.
Yeah, the temporary.
We took out of,
We took out of the FEMA money, I thought.
No.
No?
That came out of my budget.
yeah.
Oh, okay, then I am incorrect. Okay. Yeah. Public Works.
Just as a general question that I have, is the ones I'm going down through. Where are we at with the county tax, land evaluations? Where's all that? I see you guys were talking about that a little bit earlier, so I'm curious to know what that conversation is, and I'm curious to know,
Hopefully it's not a similar.
So we got,
right,
we got the county tax. The school hasn't started yet.
right.
So the county tax is actually going down by 8%. Last year it was 683,000, and this year it's 626.
Okay. And
So,
what,
but it was, what was the percent though last year?
45.
Oh, yeah.
It was more than that.
Nice.
It was like seven,
We've been
yeah.
hammered the last 2 years. Actually, it's bad.
2-year average is still over.
I think it hit us hard, so they made us feel good this year.
And what do we decide to do
I feel all fuzzy.
across the board as far as to make sure you got that percent up where it's supposed to be, or we had to be within 60 or 80% of the state's valuation of our, so how did we handle that last season?
So Bob did one more adjustment
Just do
last year.
Whatever was a flat
It
adjustment
was-
across the board.
Well, I think he tweaked like the formulas for like each location
Yep.
property, and
Yep.
he did tell me the other day that he thinks we're still gonna be under what the state, but we're not gonna be like below the percentage that the state wants us at. So he's going to say that we're good for
For
right
this year?
now.
Okay.
We might want to take a look at my note in here on page 6, 2028. When we start looking at 2028, doing another assessment of the records and actually transferring from CAMA, O'Donnell into TRIO. So we have I shouldn't say full control. We have full control now, but it's not a third party. It'll be in-house in our TRIO program. Easier to adjust.
And where's the town officials at on the thoughts of a full re-eval for this town? Or eval, property-wise?
Been close to 20 years.
Right, I mean, I guess what is the,
Well-
what are the, I mean, no one, it's an ugly word, nobody wants to hear it, but,
Right.
I mean, at some point, I think when you keep taking these incremental increases across the board, you are, at some point, right, the balance becomes unbalanced, right? You've raised certain demographic taxes.
Inequity, right?
Right. And so I think, and there's a dollar value to be spent, and I understand that that's probably a pretty big nut these days, but as far as leveling out who's paying what share of.
Well, that
property
was
taxes.
what was done
So,
just this past time, right? I mean, the first time was a simple,
Across the board.
across the board,
Right.
30%, is like you're saying. He
Right.
just upped everybody 30, so if there was inequities, it didn't change the inequities.
Right.
This last time, I don't know if you want to explain it better, Betty, what he
Yeah,
did,
so-
it was a lot more in depth and a lot more like a real evaluation
Yeah.
based on the data that we have.
Bob will be in during this, but conversations I've had with him is, he's saying essentially what we are doing a reevaluation, especially but we're doing it paying less money and,
less.
well, a lot less. And, just doing it over a couple of years instead of a one-hit time. Because what he has been doing, like I said, this past year, he went in and I think he was explaining last year, like, there's a certain percentage for, interior finish, a certain percentage if you have a view of the mountains, pond. And he went in and he tweaked those percentages based on our sales that have, sold in the last 2 years. So I think you're gonna find that he will say, we don't need a full reval, especially if in '28, then we convert everything into our TRIO program. He can set those parameters where you know, he wants them where they should be based on, you know, based on sales. And then from there, it should be, what typically should happen is, you know, a look at what sales has been, where are we at, and if he needs to tweak it a little, you know, 1 year and not the next, or, you know, then he can start fresh.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is that the group here is comfortable with the way that our assessor is currently reevaluating our property tax, how different.
But can the state step in and tell us we have to or no? As long as we keep the percentage the way we.
Right, that's sort of the idea, as long as they're within a given window,
That's why we're working
we're all
at
set, right, so.
Percentage is there.
it.
Prices are also starting to moderate, so
Yeah.
we could end up in a situation where they're starting to plateau. So
Yeah.
we could end up in a situation where we catch up.
Right, and that's the hope, is like by 2028, we will have plateaued, and once he sets those figures, you know, it'll be a true market value assessment. And then from there, like I said, it's kind of a fresh start, and he can change it as needed with the.
We'll have a good database, and then at worst, maybe in the future in 28, 29, you do another walkabout the town. You spend 20 grand and he goes to every house, looks at his card, checks it, there's no new sheds, there's no new buildings that he didn't know of through the permitting process, things like that. He has that now. It's probably not exactly 100%, let's face it, people throw things up,
Sure.
whatever. And that's where, you know, the things change. But once you have that pretty good in the computer, then it's him just tweaking the formulas based on valuations and the step, you know, what's being sold, things like that. So we have all that information, which is what a reevaluation basically does. So we did it in those two steps. And, you know, what did we spend? 40,000, I think.
Yeah, I think
You know,
it was
and
close
you
to
know,
that.
valuations are six figures. Well into the six figures. So I think, you know, it was a good process. And this last go round, I think people saw their taxes. Some went up, some went, you know, obviously the millage went down, but people's valuations went up. Everybody's valuations went up, you know, at some percentage, some more, some less, so.
Well, I guess that was gonna be my next question, right, is that, you know, when we, and I know we're just talking, pulling numbers out of the air here, but if 2 years ago we went up 25% for everybody, or 30% for everybody, right? I'm sure there were properties that shouldn't have gone up 30% because they didn't deserve to.
Yeah.
So
Just
was
corrected
that
it.
corrected this time around, so people may have seen their property values actually come down?
The valuation come down.
Right.
Because some people's came down just because the millage came down.
So the
Sure.
Our
values,
millage rate
the
went down a
values
couple
may
cents.
change on individual homes this year, for this year's tax bill.
No, this was done already.
No, it was on
The
the
last one.
Yeah.
the last
Yeah.
one.
That's
This
what
one
totally made
is,
sense, the last one.
this one's going to, he's not,
It'll be the same.
it'll be the same unless
Evaluation.
obviously, you
Yeah.
know, there was improvements
Yeah.
or it's something that he didn't catch. We are honestly on the water, still catching properties that are, you know, $1 million home, and we have them assessed at, you know, 350. And that's because there was either a permit taken out that, you know, they did much more, or you know, there was one house that they did full, you know, stone fascia all over it, and that wasn't on the permit.
I mean, just, I know anecdotally, comparing tax bills with people, and no, I'm very surprised at what seems to be the inequity. I mean, I got a 1.6 acre lot, I'm paying over $3,000 a year in property taxes, and I see very similar houses that are significantly less than that, with more acreage, so.
Well, and again, not to get too far into it, with Bob, it goes beyond just size and the footprint and everything.
Cliffs.
It goes how old the house is, what type of materials are there, all that
Oh, no, I
factors in.
understand.
I asked them the same question. So there's a lot of other little nuances that go into that evaluation. So an older home is gonna probably be evaluated less than a brand new one for the same footage and things like
And there's a
that.
process for
Yeah.
challenging, if you were to
Yeah,
call
You
it
can go
that.
through an abatement.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, and I'm pointing out for other people
Yeah.
who might not know that, so who might be watching. right?
We
There's a
abated
process
quite
for
a
that.
few this year after it came through. He went
Yeah.
back and checked it and looked at it and agreed with, what they said and stuff like that, so.
Well, if we're having a large number of abatements, then maybe the
It's not a
process.
Actually,
No, no, it
it's not
wasn't a large.
number. It's not.
No.
I had those a few meetings
Yeah.
ago. It was like less than like
It was on,
a percent or something.
Yeah.
It was,
I think I saw it.
And they were very small amounts too, they weren't, thousands or hundreds.
Was it in the overlay?
Yeah,
I thought I saw it.
oh yeah, so
Is
in
it-
the overlay would
overlay?
be what, yeah, we've given back.
Yeah. If you look at that page, Sean, the overlay page, I don't know how many calls out, 8 or 10 or something like that.
Now, let's listen to the town report.
Yeah, it will be this one,
Yeah.
this year's town report, but yeah, but she's, well, the last year's for last year, right, this year for this. This I think has,
So we do have, just to get back, I was able to pull up the Public Works capital equipment for fiscal year '26. With what we appropriated this year, we'll have $190,000. We put when we sold the truck, it was for $32,325, so that got put into that fund. And then the $150,000 that we appropriated at town meeting.
last year.
Yes. For this fiscal year, yes.
So how much we get in there now before we raise any?
190.
let's see, I think that was all the questions that I had.
The one that I had is about putting another compactor at the transfer station. That's $25,000, you can do all the work, compactor, cement work, electrical work, and everything.
No, you just want a can, right? It's just a can?
No, a whole new compactor.
Whole new compactor.
45.
Bob, the $45,000 for the compactor, is that just the compactor and then we have to pay electrical, the pad and all of that? Or was the 45?
No, we'd have to do the pad and
Do everything on here. So, if they can do a double haul, can you move the cans out and put another can in without doing another compactor? I mean, we got the cans, right? So, I don't know how much of a job it is, but I mean, we've got 4 or 5 guys working for the town. If it's full, I know if it gets full on a weekend, probably Steve won't be able to do it alone, I don't know, but I mean, it just seems to me that, here we go again, we're gonna add another piece of equipment that we gotta maintain over the next 20, 30 years or whatever, the 10 years.
Is that an additional compactor or is that?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not the replacement of the one we got with the double compactor.
No.
I mean, how hard is it to move in cans by yourself?
Well, that can, when full, weighs about 12 tons.
Can you move it with a backhoe on it?
That tractor won't
go
go.
right through the
Can't move
hot
it?
top.
Huh?
It'll go right through the hot top.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're trying to you gotta hook it on the truck
So
and put it on.
you have to get that can out of, okay.
If I have the 2 cans, the one up on the hill, that holds about
3 or 4 ton.
3 tons, all right? And you get that pulled.
Right, but the other one was
And the
compact.
other one, because the other one holds 4 times as much.
So
And this
So
makes
it'll
more
save
sense.
us in the long run on trucking. We pay about $147 a load every truck now.
Yeah. They don't double the price when you haul 2 cans?
Not, yeah, they triple, double the price of truck.
And plus, right now, with the can on the hill, where it's been so cold,
Yeah,
it's freezing, and
freezing in.
so when I have it dumped, it comes back half full.
Oh, because they'll open till you get the rain and stuff.
Open, it freezes
So
it.
by putting a second compactor in there, if that compactor were to go down, we can still operate at least one compactor.
Yep.
Instead of filling up the cans up on the hill, right?
Yep.
You got room up there to put another one, where would you put it?
Right beside the other one.
So you'd have them, so you wouldn't be able to do on the other side, you'd be like same as now, or you, okay,
Yep.
But sending down the one up on the hill weighs what now versus if it was compacted?
It's about 3 ton on an open top. It's about 9 ton on a compactor.
So we're saving on the trucking huge.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's get 3. Let's get 3.
Well, I gotta ask, I gotta ask the question though, right? So if
And
you buy
let's
another
throw a new
compactor, you have to
truck
buy
on
another
there
can.
too.
You gotta have 2 for each compactor, right?
No, we have one compactor can for each
There's one extra compact.
That's what I'm saying, right? Yeah, there's
you
one extra
haul both-
compactor can, so you're gonna have to buy another can too.
We already have one extra.
We
can.
already
But you have to buy another one in order, so you have two extra cans.
You already got an extra
No,
compact.
you still have just the one extra.
Shouldn't
compactor.
need it just because
You
they'll,
go, so
You
you
think you're gonna rotate just
You
three?
have to buy one
I
more.
mean, probably could. You're gonna be filling.
Well, if you're gonna haul 2 cans, you
Again,
can put down
the
one.
backup.
Yeah, you're gonna have to buy another
You're gonna have to buy
can.
another
Saying, right?
We got two right now, yes?
3.
No, we got
Yeah,
three.
cans.
You got three right now. Okay, so you think you,
Buy another one.
okay, so you can make that rotation on three?
Yeah.
How long is the can away?
How long does it take to unfill?
What's the
Summertime weekend, right?
Summertime, 4 days.
But by the time they haul it, when's the can come back?
Usually the same day.
Oh,
Yeah.
You just gotta have one to stick in there, right? So that's why we had the thermals, because we had it, so.
The pricing I got on a new compactor is what we paid in Brownfield for one. But that was taking out an old compactor and putting a new one in, so there's some extra labor in there
Yeah.
to do that.
So, you said that you're gonna put them side by side so you can't walk between, is that right?
Well, it'd be the same as it is now, you still be on the other side, fill, instead of having to go between.
Yeah,
So you fill on one side, fill on the other side.
I know, but he's just saying so you
I
can
know, instead of
walk.
having 4 people dump, you'd only still be doing 2, so.
Right, that's my
Right,
question,
right.
yep.
Yeah, exactly.
What's the cost for the pad, electrical, is that,
Yeah.
what does that cost? Is that something just could be done in-house?
We should know that from when we put the recycling one in, or have an approximate cost for that, don't we?
Just out of curiosity, you know?
Put the
that's
pack in
good.
for that recycling, so. It wasn't that long ago.
I don't know if I can go up there, up there.
all in one spot down there, then we can send that.
Yeah,
I mean, that should be included, the 45.
Disagree.
What's that?
I don't disagree. Could take out a big loan and have it over, huh?
We're gonna do a site plan.
Do what, you said?
What's that compactor you use for electricity? Just 220, single phase?
Wow,
Can you though? With the old
that's
landfill?
got a phase converter in it, so it's a 3-phase. You wouldn't want a single phase motor on those.
Yeah, no, and those inverters are so cheap now.
Electrical costs for the compactor?
So the total of our last compactor project, no, sorry. We had 3 waste equipment compactor containers, and then the compactor was $46,532. That was just for
Equipment.
the equipment.
But we're not buying 3 cans this time.
So no cement.
That was all the electrical equipment with it, Betty. There was no cement, but
Oh yeah, it says 3-phase motor. Sorry, it's hard to read this. It's been scanned.
They have the cans in it too, right? So.
yeah, the cans were.
Yeah.
4,500
The
apiece, something like
cans were
that.
about
$10,000.
yeah, now. they
About,
were 8.
yeah, they were 8
Yeah,
back
what that
then.
was,
To Kirk's question, what's the power cost for a year for a new compactor? Is that negligible or something? Is it a couple
Well,
thousand? Is it, I don't know.
Just, we have enough service there to hook another one up.
Battery.
I mean,
They're not using.
If we're gonna save 6,000, is it gonna cost us 3 for electric?
Three-phase ones.
Yeah, but I mean.
So, you know, for the year. I don't know what they run.
It's
I'm
not,
not an electrical guy, so I can't.
so just by,
Roughly that also, yeah.
just by looking at the power bill,
Minimal.
it's minimal.
What's
I mean,
minimal?
it's gone up because
not like
now
it's
we have
running
a
all the
heat
time,
pump
you know?
in.
Yeah, I'm just asking. It's
Yeah.
part of the cost equation.
Does that mean you're gonna wanna add onto your shed to be the length of the second dumper too? Just kidding.
Well, yeah, you're gonna be able to look
So
out
you
the
can
window,
see.
see, right?
window.
you put a double.
Get a camera, you'll be all right.
Well, you can do like the other desk, but the news people do, you go to the transfer desk. I mean, the deck, out there you got the deck.
Yeah.
CCTV, you'll be all right.
Yeah. I mean, we're gonna have to get a lot more information, a lot of stuff, ain't we?
Right, I mean, this is our first
Yeah,
run
right, yeah.
through, so next week will be department heads coming in, going over each of their budgets.
Now, you're gonna have enough money in the, building fund to do the plumbing and the overhead doors and all that stuff? Is there enough money to do that?
Yeah, yeah, I think we increased it like 1,500 or something. Some of it's getting done this year, like in-house, like Bob's gotten some of the parts for the overhead doors, the rollers, and installing, correct? Yeah.
So, yeah.
We good until next week?
Fine, good.
Right. So I guess I would just say that, probably appropriate measures for the next meeting would be to use some time and go down through the line items and make sure that anything that's got a big jump in it, have the questions to answer what you need. And I guess I'm gonna go down and see if I can make sure that all the sort of the big ticket items that are in the notes, I'm sure they are, right, are covered and reflected in a 7.8% increase, which is, not nothing. And what is that? And do we have, I mean, honestly, I'm sorry, I didn't even look.
No,
Do we
that's
have
fine.
a projected mill with what we have right now?
No, I usually don't do that until we kind of know what we might take out. I can project without using any funds at all.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just
Okay.
good to know, like what that, just a baseline to start with, right? If we raise it all from taxes, what does that look like? I mean, not that,
Yep.
and then just to know that's not a difficult thing.
No, it's not. In fact, we're kind of thinking I was going to do that earlier today and went, well, I don't want to
Okay.
scare people.
Yeah, no, I think it's good to know that way it's sort of know where you're at, you can start chipping away from there and see what,
Is there anything the school district or anybody's got
no.
wind of that's gonna be really nailing us this year? Or-
No, I have reached out to the school board reps, but looking at their agendas and their upcoming meetings, they're really not going to start till middle of April,
Yeah,
I think I saw.
May or something. Yeah, April, May, I think last year.
It'll be,
They wait till after. the
Cover your eyes and pray.
budgets.
yeah.
All of the meetings we've got scheduled are scheduled for 6 o'clock on Tuesdays. Okay, thank you.
And I guess also we ought to run that mill rate. I mean, we're gonna need a salt sand shed. I mean, I don't know what, we got.
Gotta put money, some kind of money in.
Right, it's got, right,
If you want
so-
to break it in 2 years or whatever.
Well,
but-
whatever, I mean, I don't think,
can't
I guess
ignore
you gotta tell what the waste is for a year. I mean, is it worth the waste that we've got with frost and whatever else to wait a whole other year to do that, or to try and go over another winter? I mean, it doesn't make much sense to me to do it that way, so.
I mean,
Might need to just,
you
might
guys
need to
could
take
put screens
something
on
in
your truck,
action just to
understand,
make sure
but
that
that's
gets
a waste of money
done.
spending the money
That's all
on
I was saying.
screens, right?
Yeah.
And if you put, if you cover it with
I think that's the
plastic,
big ticket item for this
doesn't
year. Everything else just goes
help
along.
a lot.
And if that's what it is,
why-
then
That's
what
my
it is.
opinion, but that's, that's for everybody to discuss. It happens.
That's what Michael said.
Um,
Don't make change like it, do it.
Yeah, and so,
It's more like what because you have to keep importing. Once it gets locked up in frost, you can't do anything with it. So then you're forced to keep importing to offset that what's lost. And like, not for nothing, this is a sort of different example, but I've got a 6,000 yard gravel pile in a pit that I'm using for a job, and I can't use it all at once. So we went in there today, and there's 3 feet of frost in the cone. Right? You just can't use it. And so if you needed to do something with it, you can't, right? And I'll be able to use it in the spring. I'm not married to having to use it all during the winter, but we put up salt sand to use in the winter, and when you can't use it, it doesn't make a lot of sense to let what's happening could happen. And just by the time it gets, it's really not supposed to cold, obviously, it's the snow, and the moisture that really fucks it
The
up.
only other thing, if you
Screws
don't
it up,
mind
part
me
of the
saying,
fridge.
where they're piling it now is inside where the building used to be,
Yeah,
and that was a hot top floor,
yeah.
and over the years,
Oh, I
digging all the
totally.
time, that's now like 4 to 5 inches lower. So when it rains.
All the water sits
All the water
It
in.
goes in the
Oh.
center, and
Yeah.
it's just like a wick, and it sucks it right up,
Yeah.
2 to 3 feet.
Yeah, yeah,
So we're
absolutely.
dealing with mud and ice.
Yeah, it's awful.
We didn't
I can
know
only,
that.
it's good, yeah. So, at least for me, right, that's one of these things where if that's not included now, let's go ahead and get it in there just so we can see what that does to it, because I think, I mean, listen, just sitting here today without having gone through it all, right, that's one that you can't ignore, right? We can't, I don't think that's a push till whatever.
No,
That's
because
that's a how do you do it now, and then what has to wait
Well,
another
yeah,
year.
they're wasting time and money trying to get this,
Right.
get this fixed and
So,
dump a load over there and dump a
that's
load
just
here.
my 2 cents for today, but we try and either find that, or we're gonna eliminate some stuff to just get through another year with and then worry about some of these other bigger ticket items. And
I
start to
have been
push stuff off.
trying to find grants, and every grant that I come in contact with, a salt shed's not eligible. You know, like they have public work grants out there, but they're
Brownfield's got
not.
one. Can we rent that one in Brownfield? Can we rent that one with?
Did reach out today. Harrison is doing the same thing as we are. They're in the same, pretty much kind of the same boat. So I did reach out to their town manager today,
Who's that?
Harrison.
Harrison.
What can you get money for grant?
Um,
What sort of building can you get money for?
Most of what you get money now for public works is if you're doing sidewalk projects, street, you know, something that improves the.
More street
For all those
lights.
people that walk outside the winter.
600,000 for that, so like, where do you want to
Big
put it?
red one.
I want to put that $600,000 on it. Or, yeah, I mean, it would, well, we'd say 450, you know, 6 would be high, but okay, I'd go with 6. I mean, I think 6 would be high. I think you can get a slab in the groundwork done for less than 50,000.
Yeah, but we need like 8 to 10 to 12 foot concrete walls.
Yeah,
to
yeah, that's
do
not
all
just the
that.
slab.
I thought that one had wood blocks that
No.
like,
That's the entire thing.
The four, yeah, so that's also a discussion,
Yeah.
was if we're gonna get a building that we think is, I'm saying it's a permanent building, if it's 25 years, do we wanna set that on, you know, 3 foot, 6, whatever, block foundation, or do you want that on a
Permanent
concrete wall, permanent foundation?
I want what's the most cost effective for the longest lifetime possible. So I don't know the answer to that
Bang for
question.
your money, right?
Yeah, I mean, you see them all the time built that way, but I agree that lots of times they aren't as, what are the dimensions for this?
80 by 100.
80 by 100, that's a big one.
That's big.
So, of
big
course, you know,
pad.
and I've run this by like
It's a
the
big pad,
engineer
too.
at Sebago Tech, and they said that
That's gotta be a couple.
they would say with a block foundation, we're gonna find a lot of heaving. The building's gonna
Yeah, move.
move, and
So
The size.
that's why I got the individual ribs and the individual members, and those things are designed to move to some degree or another, but, yeah. So I don't know, I guess we gotta figure out what that foundation added cost is.
yeah, so we've reached out to a local concrete.
So 305 was just the frame and the canvas, right? That was the
Correct.
305 number, okay, and the 457, 59, whatever the hell that number was, so somebody's telling you it's $150,000 to buy and stack a bunch of blocks.
Yeah.
Okay, so what kind of foundation can you get for $50,000? Probably pretty okay. We probably do all right. Are they 12 foot tall, above grade walls? So you're really putting 16-foot walls in.
Right.
On a footer. That's a pretty.
It's a lot of concrete.
Yeah, Joe Smuckatelli's concrete service is not doing that job for you. So, but, okay.
The state of Maine actually just did one, not a canvas. They just put a salt building in. Can't remember what it was. I pulled the plans. It was a smaller one, but they did 16-foot walls with 12 out, 4 in.
Yep. And what's the volume? I guess what led to the dimensions for 80 by 100?
The volume of material that we need.
Okay, so that's strictly just to fit the volume of materials. That's the same. And I'm asking the question because I don't know, Bob. Is it the same volume that was in the Acorn, or is it now more?
Slightly more. In the Acorn, we're doing both sand and salt.
Yeah, you had to put both in there, didn't you?
Yeah, so we lost a lot of room.
Yeah.
You only having one entrance to get in and out of there.
Yeah. So you're splitting this building, you're gonna put sand and
Yes.
salt separately?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it gonna be an end wall, or is there just gonna be 2 piles touching back to back?
Not to be a dividing wall in between them.
Okay, so at 40 feet, you'd have a,
The Acorn measurements was 80 by 80.
Okay.
If you squared it up.
yeah, okay.
So it's not that much bigger than what we already had.
So it would, the thought would be, is like, you know, 50 by 100 for mixed,
Yep.
30 by 100 for salt, and then some storage for like hay, you know, things that get.
Sure.
Or get cattle?
They'll roll the boats.
Goats.
My miniature highlands.
Yeah, okay.
So,
Roll them.
I think
Yeah, 6. Yeah, I think if
You
that's,
got some somewhere else, right?
yeah, yeah, but go ahead and put 6, let's just see what, because that way I think that's a worst case scenario if you ask me, but.
I think this is like a building like what all states and stuff have to stockpile material down in like Westbrook.
Yeah, I agree, yeah. Yeah, so if we can just, if we can run that with 600,000 in there also, just, again, we gotta see what it looks like and then start chipping away from there, right? That's what's.
Can we call it the beach now instead? Just
We could, yeah. We could call it the horseshoe if it makes you happy. It's lucky. Lucky. Okay. Anybody else for tonight? Questions, comments, concerns?
Can I say something?
Yeah, absolutely.
Shouldn't we vote on an alternate for the chairman?
And a
So I nominate
secretary.
Nathan to be,
Second.
Okay.
and then we got a secretary, right?
I don't. We didn't do that last
We
year.
didn't.
Yeah, Nathan was the secretary last year.
Do it all.
According to the votes, you weren't here, that's why.
Okay, so Nathan.
So we'll have Sean as the secretary? Oh, he won't be
He
here.
won't be here, so we'll have to have Michael.
Don't
You
lose
don't want me taking notes.
All I gotta do is count votes.
Count votes, I can do that.
Yeah, all I was gonna do is count votes. Yeah, I second Michael Barabee, so Michael Barabee should be the secretary.
All right.
Vice is Nathan,
Taking
secretary.
notes. You'll never understand. I can count votes.
All I gotta do is count votes.
Count?
I can
Can't
count.
count very
I
hard.
can count. I don't have to, it's only 6 of us.
5 of us now.
Okay.
Is Lee coming? She just
I'll
wasn't.
call her if she might have forgotten. You know, what happens, you get older, you forget.
Yeah.
All right, anything else? Gentlemen?
Luke showed up last week. Nobody was here.
I did. Walked in here, started turning the lights on, said to the blazing up, said, "What are you doing here?" I said, "I'm here for the budget committee meeting." He said, "No, you're not." I said, "Well, yes, I am." They said, "Well, you're
You're
right."
ahead of us.
That's right. And you've been here a whole week.
Been here all week.
I make a motion that we adjourn this budget committee meeting.
Second.
Somebody else does that.